Yeah, close enough to 5:30 p.m. this evening. It's been a rather dark and gloomy day today, and we have had a very long line of showers, very light showers that came through. Lasted approximately an hour, give or take. But this is the type of day that I can find enjoyment through because it tends to bring on certain epiphanies and revelations, and that is the case of this day in specific. I'm going to go ahead and tend to these cats out here as they are waiting, and it will appear much brighter and lighter in this recording than what it is in reality. Alright, let's see if I can sneak through here. Hi, buddy. Yep. Hi, Wolf. Yep, we're coming. Alrighty. Alright. Yep. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get these guys taken care of, and we will continue on as they are all starting to appear. And they're coming out all over the place. And, yep, they are ready. There's my new lovely one there next to China. Alright, yep, bullseye. We're getting there, guys. We'll be back. Hang tight. Well, did my screen get wet? I'm not able to shut this off. Pause it, huh? Come on now. Well, the camera shut off on me, so unfortunately now I get to splice these recordings together. And so yeah, thoughts have been coming to me today, and of course I've got those frequencies in my head, and have had today. But I'd like to just go ahead and so as you know, I develop quite the bonding with these felines out here. Even the ones that, are typically quite timid and shy away from me, they are allowing this to happen. Okay? This is just the nature of my being, if you will. It's alright, guys. You're good. Come on. Okay, and this is, like I said, one of the newest members here. I don't know why, but this cat is really garnered my attention. Still have not claimed her, as I have not named her. But there's a grand and divine connection that I have with the land and the animals. And I have had ever since I can remember. And I have had a strong connection with cats as long as I can remember. But this is not the only animal that I've had quite a deep relationship with. There is another animal, and this is something that has brought about some great pondering of thoughts for me in specific, and it goes in tune and along the same lines as this process that has been taking place that I've been trying to show over the last couple of years, and trying to relate my past experiences and encounters. And it's, it's what I've been going through is like a self-actualization, self-realization process, but not one of psychological means, but that of the higher consciousness and the spiritual means, if you will. And what all of this is an awakening process, a transformation into a higher understanding of the realities within our existence. And so today, through this dark, gloomy weather, there has been these epiphanies and revelations that have come about pursuant to this other animal that I have a much deeper connection with, and that of meaning, than what I have ever realized. And this is an animal of great symbolic meanings and highly misconstrued, because it can be taken, of course, two ways, much akin to that forked tongue of the snake. And of course, because of who and what I am, I delve into, I don't want to say the darkness, because that is not it. I deal with dark energy. I use dark energy for enlightenment, because out of the darkness comes forth the light. And there is a connection between me and the good book, as far as within Genesis and the Mandela effect that I talk about, and how the wordings have changed so significantly and drastically within the first chapter of Genesis in regards to creation, and how many times the word light is used, in which throughout my lifetime there was not that many uses of that word within the first chapter of that book. Rather, it spoke of the sun, the moon, and the stars, and those have been replaced by the greater light, the lesser light, and just the light in general. And that's why, well, I will say another reason as to why I only use that so-called good book as reference material, okay? And if you have actually been following along, and actually watched that video with the rabbi speaking on the Gemini, and he paints a very illustrative picture in regards to photos and the negatives, okay? And I am one that, once again, I am the negative, okay? But I bring forth colorful pictures, especially within the sky. But of course, now artificial intelligence has stolen, deleted some of those colorations, such as my one and only capture of the rainbow through this phone. I still have my recording from the Canon camera of the rainbow, but continuing on. So I am the negative, and through that I show these colorful pictures, and which, well, at times they get copied, shared. Okay, and so, there's even more meaning to the words of the rabbi through, my explanations. But continuing on, the animal of what I speak is the goat. My family raised goats for a time. I named a lot of those goats as they were born, or as we bought them and brought them home, if you will. I love goats. I am not fond of sheep. And of course, a few years ago, sheep was being a major reference, as well as sheeple, okay? And I also jumped in on that movement of definitions. Okay, and that's just like with this video here, is I am providing definition for further clarification, because this is also helping me in the long run. And, well, journals have been being brought up to write down journals, which I believe it was the rabbi that spoke of this. Well, this is my journal, a vlog channel, if you will. Yeah, it was the full intentions of this channel was to be sky observations, but it's, you know, over this period of time, it has taken on quite the transformation, just like myself. And I have transformed on many levels over the last couple of years. And today, the realization of my connection with the goat. Wow. Because I am going to take you inside, and we are going to see a prop that I made for personal reasons. A year ago, 2 years ago, something like that, maybe longer, I'm not sure. And of course, everything eventually comes into use when it comes to me and this channel. And this is something that I created in a time of frustration, irritation, possible hallucinations even, because I was, well, in a state of altered consciousness and altered reality. In touch with that higher self, if you will. Only not even realizing it at the time. And now, through the gloominess and darkness of today, which, you know, is more akin to being like this. Yeah. These, like I said, ponderings of thoughts have come about, and these epiphanies and revelations and enlightenment over this other creature known as the goat, and the special meanings and symbologies connected with this creature. And I won't go into the darkness of the goat per se, but I will explain some things. And you have to, while we're out here in the light, which it is getting a little bit brighter, and so who knows, there could be sightings of rainbows yet today. I don't know. The weather is so very askew anymore. But anyways, I have shown in past content the palms of my hands, and there's videos out there, many videos pertaining to symbols within the palms of certain people's hands, aka the chosen ones. And I do believe that I am, because I have all these signs indicating such things. And it really seems like, you know, this is just something out of a fantasy styled movie. But there's videos out there pertaining to the letter M. being within the lines of the palms of the hands. And I have that letter M on my hand, and not just one but two, okay? Furthermore, when combined, the right hand combined with the left hand, okay, I can create not only the half moon but the crescent moon within the lines connecting the right and left palms. Furthermore, I have the pentagram or pentacle within my hand, this left palm. And furthermore, as I've shown, I have the letter X right center of it all. These are all indications that's within videos out there. And I have them all. And now the goat, understanding that I have that symbol, whether you want to view it as being the pentacle or the pentagram, you know, I'm still up in arms and in a little bit of debate. And you will see why as we continue on, which will be here very shortly as I am getting ready to head back in. These guys are fed even though still eating, and of course they always feel special when they can eat out of the big bowl. Okay, and she looks like she is done. I think I might scatter a little bit more. Head in and we will continue on, keeping our fingers crossed that it will be in rather short form and fashion, but that well, let's just say we'll go with the flow. Michigan Panther. High up in the tree. We'll continue on. Well, I guess this is going to be delayed just a little bit longer, as I've got, well, I don't know where she went, but where did you go, China? Anyway, she was just up here loving up on me, and now, well, I guess this little girl decided she wanted to be special too and eat out of the big bowl. Trying to copycat these ones. Where'd you go, China? There you are, hiding behind me. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Of course, you know. You're okay, girl. Come on. It's all right. You can eat out of the bowl. Yeah. Very deep connections. Alright, we'll continue on with the goat. Alright, continuing on, just because this came up earlier in comment form, reply form, what have you. This is my so-called ab roller. And so this is basically geared towards CF. Okay? This is what I use for my crunches and my leg lifts. Alright, we will continue on. Alrighty, so we are now in my bedroom slash gym, if you will. And, well, we're going to go ahead and set up shop right over here and continue on with this little discussion. My black blade. Okay, so, how well can, well, we might have to do this a little different. Alright, there we go. Now this is my little illustration as I was speaking of. And can you see the goat? Okay, and there's reasons why I'm showing you this, because of course, you know, I like to back up everything through other resourced material that's out there. And this is my illustration of the goat. Can you see it? Of course you should be able to. Okay? And there was a lot of meanings that were coming to me pursuant. Okay? Horns of honor points directly to the heart of justice. Impalers of infidels, the horns. Okay? Protecting innocence through public exposure and exhibition by elevation of the enemy and the executed. Okay? The horns of heroes. Okay? The goat. You got to remember this. The goat. Because once again, there's meanings just to the letters of the spelling of goat. Save the goats. Godliness, independent intelligence through realistic common sense, alarmistic, prepared leadership, strong, authentic, defenders, reliable, multi-purpose horns. Okay? But of course, sacrifice the sheep over on the other side. The sinfulness, sheep, which are gullible, defenseless, fearful, dependent, a low-level common sense, victims of blind compliance, weak, accusatory, irrational. Helmet horns. Okay? And then we go into the 5 signs, the pentagram, or pentagon, excuse me, yeah, pentagonal, okay, and which, at the top of the pentagon, we have the prism. This is, quite blurry, if you will, not too fond of that, but anyways, okay, there we go, palace of cyclic polygons. Okay, a house of human microcosm. Okay, this is all stuff that was being downloaded into me, okay? Okay, and the nose of the goat. Okay, there's more. Okay, so the ears, the right ear, open to hear, honesty and honor, Taoism. Okay, this is before I even got into anything by Alan Watts. And his philosophies through Taoism. Okay, and it's the right or righteousness of conscious, awake and aware. We go over to the left ear. The left ear is closed and deaf to deception. Okay, left over listening for liberal lies. Okay, we have the nose. Strong sense of smell, sniffs out spoilage. Okay, and goats do this. A short snout of self. Others' affairs by request only. Malice and mockery. Manicure management. This is all highly symbolic, and again, it ties in with so much that I have shared on this channel about me, my observations, my explanations, my theoretical explanations of those observations. I brought forth stories of my encounters. You've seen the encounters that I have with the wildlife here, the birds, the cats, the deer. I have the symbols in my hands, and so much of the occultisms seem to be downloaded and furthermore shared with me, and this is the really irritating aspect of all of this, because of my despise towards the interactions that I've had on this platform, with the platform itself, and through the artificial intelligence, and so much. But yet, I also have to honor the factor of me being on this platform and having all of these actualizations and realizations come forth for further enlightenment of who and what I am and what I am to become even. I still have more, apparently. This is being taught to me through the cards, through others and their readings. This is strong, strong stuff, people. But there's only a chosen few that, you know, that's part of all this. There's others that are going through the awakening process still. But, you know, I'm at that last chapter. I'm still waiting to finalize the last chapter of the existence to this life here. Which is, you know, understanding and realizing those connections. You know, I cannot make this stuff up, and if you click on the link in the description, you are going to understand that much more. And once again, the goat, why again is it so special for me? Not just because of my past relationship with raising goats and claiming them through naming them, as I did. But I was born in the year of the goat, 1967. Wow. My brother helped me come to this understanding over that little factoid, because we were looking up zodiac signs in connection to the years born. Not necessarily the months, but the, you know, in connection with the years born. And then, you know, wow. But of course that is slashed because of being a Gemini, okay? And having that dual personality and duality over all things. And this is where, you know, the scales of justice come into play for Geminis, and that we are actually the real keepers of the scales of justice. And it's not, you know, a different zodiac sign, okay? So when you're making these connections like I have been, I mean, this is powerful stuff once again. And it's, you know, very metaphysical, if you will, and highly mystical. But then you have to also understand, I live in a state that is known as Mystic, Michigan, for many, many reasons. And because of that, you know, I don't only have memories of my own, at least, you know, pertaining to this lifetime, but I might have other memories of past times. And finally coming to further connections right here, of which I have never made any connections before. This is one of a collection of books that my mom received from the author himself, okay, pertaining to Native Americans in Michigan, and for the most part within this area of Allegan County, a large part, okay? I have never read these books yet. Whether I will or not, I don't know, but they are coming into use as they were meant to be used. This originated at a very, very bizarre time in my life, and it was meant for a reason and purpose, and to be used. To further clarify this journey of mine. It's not really about me, it's about the journey and the messages through this journey that others might be able to possibly adopt and incorporate somehow into their life. I don't know. I don't know what this is all about, you know? All I'm doing is sharing what comes to me, what transpires or has transpired, such as this. And it's, from the past being used today, which a lot of my prop material is just of that nature. So let's get back to the link in the description. This is going to clarify that much more. And I still have not decided on the thumbnail that I want to use for this video, but it just might be a screenshot from this video that I would ask you to watch, because it is in reference to the GOAT, okay, and the meaning of the GOAT, or one of the many meanings of the GOAT. And there's many other things that highly resonated with me, very much so. But the last and final card that was shown really clicked it into overdrive. Number one, because the image on the card is of something that I wanted to speak on that much further, as far as the cryptids and the dryads, or tree spirits, if you will. Okay, and not only that, I've spoken of the oak tree and its connection with the druids. Alright? And furthermore, what really slapped me right in the forehead was the number at the bottom of the card. Yes, you know it. That number 27. You can't make this stuff up. And if you've been following along, you might be realizing this. And you might even understand, the untapped reservoirs of powers that I might even have. I mean, this is where I am heading. At least that's what the storyline thus far is indicating. This is high level stuff. And in many factors, I'm resisting. I'm keeping an open mind, but I practice being skeptical as well. That grand balancing act once again. Oh, I don't know what that was, but that was wicked. Okay, I guess that is my cue to end it right there. Check out the video on the link. Yeah, welcome to the flip side, right? Take care, one and all, and yeah, we'll be back at some point with something more to add to this craziness that we call reality. Take care.